Power Blade 2 isn't just another forgotten NES sequel, it's one of the most polished Mega Man clones ever created, featuring some of the tightest platforming mechanics and most creative power-up systems of the 8-bit era. The original Power Blade, released in 1991, surprised players with its unique boomerang-based combat system and earned a devoted following amongst action platformer enthusiasts. Taito had struck gold with a formula that felt familiar yet completely fresh, so you'd think Taito would have rushed a sequel into production immediately, right? Instead, they took their time, crafting something even more ambitious. Power Blade 2 arrived in 1992 with expanded suit powers, more complex level design, and a challenge that would test even seasoned platformer veterans. During the early 90s, the platformer landscape was dominated by one franchise, Mega Man. Capcom's Blue Bomber had established the template: choose your stages, defeat robot masters, and gain their powers. But Taito saw an opportunity to take that formula and twist it into something unique on their own. Power Blade 2 expanded on every element that made the original special. The boomerang mechanics were refined, the power suit system was completely overhauled, and the level design incorporated ideas that wouldn't appear in Mega Man games for years. The development team created what many consider the definitive Mega Man clone. Calling it a clone almost feels insulting given how much innovation they packed in. Critics praised Power Blade 2 for its tight controls, creative boss battles, and the way it balanced challenge with fairness. The power suit system, allowing players to transform into specialized forms like the wall-crawling nude suit or the swimming wetsuit, added strategic depth that most platformers of the era lacked. The game pushed the NES hardware to its limits with smooth scrolling, detailed sprites, and some of the most atmospheric music on the system. Yet despite its technical achievements and innovative gameplay, Power Blade 2 remains largely unknown outside of dedicated retro gaming circles. Modern players discovering Power Blade 2 face immediate challenges. The game assumes familiarity with advanced platforming techniques. The power suit energy system can be confusing without proper explanation, and some of the trickiest sections require knowledge of obscure mechanics that the game never explicitly teaches. What if there was a way to experience everything Power Blade 2 has to offer without hours of trial and error? What if you could master the power suit system from the start, know exactly which upgrades to prioritize, and tackle each boss with confidence? What if you could discover every secret area, every hidden power-up without missing a single one? That's exactly what this complete walkthrough delivers. We'll guide you through every stage, every boss battle, and every hidden secret, ensuring that you'll get the full Power Blade 2 experience. If guides like this help you discover amazing retro games you might have missed, hit that subscribe button. There are dozens more hidden gems waiting to be explored. Stage 1. Mastering the basics. The first stage serves as an excellent introduction to the game's mechanics and is recommended as the starting point due to its manageable difficulty and the usefulness of the nude suit obtained here. Area 1. This opening section introduces basic enemies. Clear out the sentries and floor guards to proceed safely. Area 2. Navigate under the ledge using the slide technique, then eliminate the dual cannons and droids. Remember that the dual cannons only fire horizontally, making vertical approaches the safest strategy. Area 3. The conveyor belt section requires careful timing. The ceiling drills cause instant death, so exercise extreme caution when collecting the big battery. Understanding the controls. The D-pad handles all basic movement, running left and right, climbing ladders, ducking low, and aiming the boomerang or power blade in 8 different directions. The A button executes jumps, and combined with down on the D-pad, performing a sliding maneuver that mirrors Mega Man's signature move. The B button launches the boomerang or power blade, which can be aimed in 8 directions. To throw downward, the player must be airborne or hanging from a ceiling using the nude suit. Select activates energy tanks from the inventory. Start pauses the game, and while paused, up and down on the D-pad allows selection of different power suits. Area 4. Begin climbing left to reach the ceiling generator, which can be destroyed with standard attacks. After collecting the energy tank, return right and look for destructible blocks that appear as clusters of 4 smaller squares. Continue upward to progress. Area 5. The moving platform only activates when stepped on. Use it to reach the energy tank, then duck under stationary platforms to advance. The mid-boss dragon awaits beyond this section. Okay, here's one that separates the casual fans from the hardcore collectors. What exact rating did Electronic Gaming Monthly give Power Blade 2 back in 1992? Drop your guess below. Defeat it by attacking while it's in dragon form, then jumping over or sliding under when it transforms into a rolling ball. After victory, continue left and experiment with the newly acquired Newt suit, ceiling climbing abilities. The item system and strategy. The item system provides both immediate benefits and long-term strategic advantages. Hamburgers, which appear blue in the game, restore health when collected. Small batteries, resembling AA batteries, replenish energy for power suits. Energy tanks look like tuna cans and remain in inventory until it's activated with select, providing full health restoration. Big batteries automatically restore energy when the player's reserves are depleted. Your red boomerangs transform the standard blue boomerangs into more powerful red variants. The 2 boomerangs upgrade increases the maximum number of projectiles that can be active simultaneously, up to a maximum of 3. Stars permanently increase the power meter's maximum level, allowing boomerangs and power blades to travel farther distances. The power suit system. Unlike the original Power Blade, power suits aren't found as items. They're earned by defeating mid-boss dragons throughout the campaign. Once acquired, each suit remains available for the rest of the game, though using them drains energy and doesn't provide protection from damage. When wearing any power suit, the boomerang transforms into the more powerful Power Blade, which penetrates walls and deals double damage but doesn't return to players.
Alright, let's talk about the real people who made this cyberpunk adventure possible. In an era before massive development teams and celebrity game designers, Power Blade 2 was crafted by a tight-knit group of passionate creators at Taito. Noriyasu Togakushi, who wore multiple hats as both designer and artist, something that seems almost quaint by today's standards, but was absolutely essential in those days. Picture him hunched over a drawing tablet, sketching out Nova's power suits, then switching gears to design the level layouts. That kind of creative versatility defined the 8-bit era. And even the programming duo of Toshikazu Iwasa and Kiichi Yamada were the wizards making it all work within the NES's strict limitations. Every smooth animation, every response control, every seamless transition between Nova's different suits. That was the magic of these 2 programmers squeezing every ounce of performance out of the hardware that was already showing its age by 1992. And then there's Kinuyo Yamashita composing that awesome soundtrack. In 1992, video game music was still fighting for respect as a legitimate art form, and composers like Yamashita were proving that memorable melodies could even emerge from the most limited sound trips. Every bleeping, blooping note had to count, and the emotional weight of those simple melodies often carried the entire atmosphere of a game. Kaizo Kato, working alongside Togakushi on the artwork, helped create that distinctive cyberpunk aesthetic that made Power Blade 2 feel so futuristic and so cool. In an era before the internet art communities with digital asset stores, these artists were crafting every pixel hand by hand, creating entire worlds within the constraints of the NES color palette. What made Power Blade 2 so special wasn't just what it did, it was when it did it. This was October of 1992, for crying out loud. The Super Nintendo was already making the NES look dated, but there was this beautiful stubbornness in the development community. Teams like this were determined to show what the gray old box still was able to bring to the table. Area 7. This area can be tackled with precise jumping or made trivial by walking across the ceiling with the Newt suit. Boss, Patriot Droid.
This boss wears the Patriot suit that players will acquire in Stage 4, equip the Newt suit, slide under the ledges that it jumps on, and maintain consistent fire. When it's on ground level, its shots can be avoided with proper positioning. Players with at least half health can simply trade shots and emerge victorious.
Let's torch this place and get away.
Now, time for a publisher pop quiz. Which company developed and published Power Blade 2? Bonus points if you can name it without looking it up. Stage 2, Underwater Challenges. The second stage introduces aquatic elements and tests swimming skills. Area 1, move quickly to avoid the deadly rising and falling ceiling. Clear sentries and droids efficiently and slide forward. Area 6, the elevator section tests multitasking skills. Remember that the power blade penetrates walls, and watch for destructible blocks. Keep moving to avoid the dangerous running droids. Area 2, speed is essential for reaching the big battery in the upper right corner. The black bubbles can't be destroyed, so time your slides carefully to avoid them. Starting slides farther from ledge edges provides greater forward momentum when dropping. Be cautious of the instant death bottom boundary. Fun fact, one of those power suits is called the Newt suit, and yeah, it lets you crawl on walls and ceilings just like some kind of cybernetic gecko. How's that for creative naming? Area 3. Despite appearances, no special equipment is needed for the big battery. Grab it quickly and jump to the door while avoiding electrical sparks. Alright, can you guess what holiday the game's story kicks off on? Here's a hint. It involves the Delta Foundation and some serious corporate espionage. Area 4. This fully underwater section requires careful navigation around spiked balls and fish. Defeat the mid-boss dragon to obtain the wetsuit, then equip it immediately for faster underwater movement. Alright, let's test your Power Blade 2 knowledge. What was the game called when it was released in Japan? If you know the regional difference, you're definitely a retro gaming expert. Drop your answer below. Here's a cool detail. The rocket suit gives you the power of flight, which is basically every platformer player's dream come true. No more worrying about those tricky jump sequences. Now here's a tricky one for you. Power Blade 2 takes place in a futuristic setting, but can you name the year? Let me know what you think in the comments. Area 5. The energy tank can be collected by diving into the pool, though jumping over the water is also an option. Okay, let's see who remembers the technical details. How many collectible power suits could you obtain in Power Blade 2? This was a major upgrade from temporary power-ups. Area 6. The moving platform section requires timing jumps with flame patterns. Jump off the platform whenever flames rise too high. Staying on the platform until the end of its track automatically advances to the next area. Okay, here's one for the story buffs. What government agency gives Nova his secret mission in Power Blade 2? Comment if you paid attention to the plot details. Okay, here's a design question for you. What's the name of the evil organization that Nova has to destroy in Power Blade 2? If you played through the story, this should be so easy.
Area 7. Stay ahead of the advancing ceiling while dealing with floor guards and ball droids. Remember that the ball droids only take damage when opened. Alright, can you guess which month Power Blade 2 was released in North America? Here's a hint, it was just 1 month after the Japanese release. Area 8, choose between carefully jumping across ledges while avoiding bomb droidlets or using the Newt suit for easy ceiling navigation. The brown fluid on the floor isn't lethal, but will cause problems if movement is too slow. Okay, music trivia time. Who composed the soundtrack for Power Blade 2? This one might be tough, but let's see if any of you music buffs know this one. Boss battle, Rocket Droid. This boss uses the rocket suit abilities that players will gain in stage 3. Either attack from the ceiling using the Newt suit while avoiding the fish droids below, or use the wetsuit for a more challenging but viable approach.
Let's torch this place and get away.
Fun fact, you play as the same character from the first game, a guy named Nova who apparently works for the US Department of Defense. Because who else are you gonna call when cyborg companies just get out of line? Stage 3, Aerial Mastery. The third stage emphasizes vertical navigation and introduces wind-based obstacles. Area 1, players without the Newt suit must combine ladder climbing with moving platform timing. With the Newt suit, ladder climbing alone suffices. Area 2, descend carefully while eliminating droids and ball droids. Alright, can you name the defensive power suit in Power Blade 2? This one was all about protection rather than special movement abilities. Area 3, multiple obstacles require attention here. Eliminate airship and dive bomber droids, reach the mid-boss, acquire the rocket suit, and continue forward. Power Blade 2 didn't just give us more of the same, it completely revolutionized how we thought about power-ups in platformers. Remember when those temporary power-ups were exciting? Well, these developers said, what if you could just keep them? Those 4 collectible power suits, the wall-crawling Newt suit, the swimming wetsuit, the flying rocket suit, and the defensive Patriot suit were absolutely mind-blowing for their time. Alright, the final challenge for you trivia masters. How many programmers worked on Power Blade 2 according to the credits? Let me know in the comments if you caught this development detail. Area 4. This challenging area features giant fans that alternate between active and inactive states. Never touch fan blades, even when stationary. Use the rocket suit to fly around fans to reach higher platforms. Don't miss the big battery during navigation. Did you know there's a wetsuit that lets you swim underwater? Because apparently in the year 2200, we still haven't figured out how to make waterproof cyborg agents. Alright, can you name the power suit that lets you crawl on walls and ceilings like some kind of cybernetic gecko? Comment your answer if you remember this unique ability. Area 5. Navigate from fan to fan over bottomless pits while under enemy fire. The Newt suit provides an alternative route along the ceiling. Let's test your magazine knowledge.
Power Play 2 was featured in a major gaming magazine in October of 1992. Can you name which one it was? Area 6. Stay below the Gemini's droid's diagonal beams while attacking it. Prevent the running droid from making contact. Area 7. Another demanding section where any power suit's enhanced attack strength proves valuable against various enemy types. Here's a gameplay mechanics question. Besides the collectible suits, what major ability did Power Play 2 borrow from Mega Man? Drop your answer if you remember this edition. Boss Battle, Newt Droid. This boss utilizes the Newt suit from stage 1, jumping off walls and ceiling while throwing shurikens. 2 rotating fireballs make this Newt suit dangerous. The optimal strategy involves using the rocket suit to hover slightly above the room's center, then firing horizontally toward the boss.
Let's torch this place and get away.
Stage 4. Patriot Suit Acquisition. The wetsuit proves extremely valuable in the stage, making prior completion of Stage 2 highly recommended. Area 1. Without power suits, the multiple hits required to destroy ball droids and Gemini droids make this section challenging. Focus on efficient enemy elimination. Stage 2. The wetsuit makes this area trivial, though it's manageable without it. Clear ceiling guards before sliding through passages. Here's something wild. Instead of temporary power-ups, Power Play 2 introduced 4 collectible power suits that you could keep throughout the game. That was a pretty big upgrade from the original. Area 3. Much easier with the wetsuit equipped. Avoid contact with the spiked ceiling throughout. Did you know the game added a sliding mechanic just like in Mega Man? The developers clearly weren't shy about taking inspiration from Capcom's Blue Bomber series. Area 4. Another section greatly simplified by the wetsuit. Collect the big battery and energy tank during passage. So the next time you see that distinctive cover art, Nova in his futuristic armor, ready to take on the corporate corruption in the year 2200, remember that you're looking at just more than a game. You're looking at a time capsule when an era of gaming was still figuring out what it wanted to be, when every release felt like a small miracle of creativity and technical achievement. Those were the days when games like Power Play 2 reminded us why we felt Area 5. Water torrents across the floor impede movement unless the wetsuit is equipped. The mid-boss dragon here provides the Patriot suit upon defeat. The Newt suit offers an alternative ceiling route. Area 6, the newly acquired Patriot suit, immediately proves useful against discus and missile droids. Use fans, the newt suit, or rocket suit to reach the energy tank. Area 7. The floor moves vertically here, potentially crushing players against the ceiling. Only slide through wall gaps when the floor is descending.
Now the game's Christmas Eve 2200 setting feels so perfectly 90s in retrospect. That mixture of holiday cheer and cyberpunk dystopia that somehow made perfect sense at the time. We were living in the shadow of the Cold War's end. Computers were becoming household items, and the future felt both exciting and slightly terrifying. Power Play 2 captured that perfectly. Back then, when you bought a game, you were committing. There was no patches, no updates, no online guides, just you, the manual, if you even had one, and whatever the developers managed to squeeze onto that cartridge. Power Play 2 represented that pure, uncompromising vision of what a sequel should be, familiar enough to feel like coming home, but different enough to justify its existence. Fun fact, Power Blade 2 borrowed heavily from the Mega Man formula, letting players choose which stages to tackle in any order they wanted. But hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Boss Battle, Twin Droids. This unique boss doesn't mirror any power suit abilities. Stay near the room's center and run or slide under the droids as they jump overhead. Consistent blade hits every few seconds prevent them from using their devastating jump kicks and slide kicks. Avoid using rocket or newt suits defensively, as the droids will simply jump into the player for massive damage.
Let's torch this place and get away.
Fun fact, the game was designed by Noriyasu Togakushi, who also worked on the artwork. Multi-talented developers were definitely more common back in the NES era. Area 5, the penultimate challenge. After completing the first 4 stages, Stage 5 becomes accessible. With all 4 power suits available, players have maximum strategic options. Area 1, straightforward enemy encounters that become laughably easy with the Patriot suit equipped. Area 2, an interesting vertical challenge featuring crisscrossing moving platforms. These platforms move independently and won't carry players along, requiring active jumping to stay positioned. Watch for wall sentries during ascent. Okay, here's some gaming history. Electronic Gaming Monthly gave Power Blade 2 an underwhelming 5.5 out of 10 rating in their September 1992 issue? Ouch! That's pretty middle of the road for what was supposed to be a big, massive sequel.
Area 3, sliding under dark bubbles risks being knocked into pits by running droids. The safer approach involves using the newt suit to navigate the ceiling while avoiding bubbles and enemies. Area 4, story exposition appears here, mentioning a character named Jacqueline who wasn't featured in the intro sequence.
Jacqueline thanks goodness you're okay.
Something terrible is happening here. I discovered the true identity of the president of Delta Foundation is an alien from outer space. He is now spreading his troops all around, preparing to invade the Earth. The offer he made to the government was meant to raise funds to carry out his plan of invasion. We must exterminate the Delta Foundation immediately, otherwise our days will be numbered.
You better get out of here and leave the rest to me.
Area 5. More complex moving platform sequences in classic Mega Man style. Exit any platform that begins moving in directions other than left. The rocket suit provides a less risky alternative. Did you know that Power Blade 2 was actually developed in North America first, then released in Japan with a completely different title? Captain Saver? Okay, that's pretty unusual for the early 90s gaming scene. Now here's a gameplay twist. Unlike many platformers where you just run left and right, Power Blade 2 structures its levels as buildings that you literally are trying to destroy by defeating the boss inside each one. It's like corporate espionage meets explosive demolition. Did you know that Power Blade 2 was released in both Japan and North America in 1992? Just 1 month apart? That's lightning fast for international releases back in those days. Area 6. The Patriot Suit simplifies enemy encounters significantly. To reach the big battery safely, use the rocket suit rather than jumping off the final ledge into apparent nothingness. Area 7. Equip the wetsuit for easy swimming and sliding progression. Collect the energy tank during passage. Fun fact, Power Blade 2 takes place in the year 2200, when you're literally fighting a weapons company called the Delta Foundation who's trying to sell dangerous cyborg soldiers to the highest bidder. Talk about corporate warfare gone wrong. Area 8. Maintain the wetsuit for continued water navigation. Area 9. Destroy bubble generators before descending to reduce enemy pressure. Area 10. Keep the wetsuit equipped and move slowly. Attack discus droids and running droids from below for safety. Boss battle, Dragon Droid. Immediately equip the Patriot suit to absorb the dragon's projectile attacks. Fire continuously while the dragon flies overhead. Allowing it to remain grounded leads to rapid player's defeat. Man, reading those old reviews is like opening a time capsule. The language, the concerns, the way they describe graphics and sound, it all feels so wonderfully earnest and specific to that moment in gaming history.
Oops, the floor collapsed and a passageway appeared underneath.
Stage 6. The Alien World. Following Mega Man convention, the apparent ending reveals a deeper challenge. The floor opens, dropping players into a pulsating alien environment. Area 1. A simple falling sequence. Area 2. An extended area featuring pulsating goo on the ground. While not lethal, the goo can engulf slow-moving players. Ceiling navigation with the Newt suit often provides easier passage. Here's a cool bit of trivia. The game's plot kicks off on Christmas Eve 2200 when the US president gets an ultimatum from the Delta Foundation. Buy our cyborg or we're selling it to your enemies. Okay, nothing says holiday spirit like international weapons dealing. Did you know that after beating the first 4 areas in any order, you unlock Area 5, and then there's one final level after that? It's like the game was saying, you thought you were done? Think again. Can you believe that that kind of structure was innovative back then? Area 3. Target caterpillar enemies' heads for efficient elimination. Fun fact, the 4th power suit is called the Patriot suit, and it's all about defense rather than fancy moving abilities. Sometimes you just need some good old-fashioned armor plating. Area 4. Navigate moving platforms while monitoring ceiling hazards.
Okay, let's take a trip back to memory lane. With the magazine racks of 1992, Nintendo Power, the holy grail of gaming journalism back then, featured Power Blade 2 in their October issue. Getting featured in a Nintendo Power wasn't just coverage. It was practically a seal of approval that could make or break a game's success. Parents trusted Nintendo Power. Kids saved their monthly allowance based on Nintendo Power reviews. It was a different world. But then, Electronic Gaming Monthly came along. EGM to those who have lived and breathed gaming magazines. They gave it a whopping 5.5 out of 10. And you know what? That score tells such a fascinating story about where gaming was in 1992. Critics were getting more sophisticated, more demanding. The honeymoon period of, wow, look at those graphics, was giving way to deeper analysis of gameplay mechanics and innovation. That 5.5 wasn't just a number. It was a reflection of the entire industry in transition. Reviewers were starting to expect more than just comparent Mega Man clones. They wanted originality, they wanted polish. And they weren't afraid to call out games that felt too derivative, even when they executed those borrowed ideas well.
Area 5, more caterpillar encounters. Using the ladder for descent proves easier than attempting right side jumps. Area 6, extensive slimy terrain with crushing claws and goo pits near the midpoint. The nude suit makes most of this area manageable. Did you know that Power Blade 2 was featured in Nintendo Power magazine back in October of 1992? That was like getting the official Nintendo seal of approval back in the day. Now on to areas 7 through 12, a series of single room encounters with various enemy types. Now here's an interesting tidbit. Just like in the first Power Blade, the Power Suit concept is literally built into the game's title. The developers really wanted to make sure you knew those suits were important. Area 9 features a regenerating mud monster. Use the nude suit to climb the adjacent wall and slide into the crevice to collect the battery. Did you know the music was composed by Kinoto Yamashita? She was actually one of the pioneering women in video game music composition during the Energy era. Fun fact, the game was published by Taito, the same company behind arcade classics like Space Invaders. They really knew how to make games that packed a punch. Can you believe that in 1992, the idea of choosing your own path through a game was still relatively fresh? Sure, Mega Man had done it, but here was the cyberpunk thriller, letting you choose which corporate building to infiltrate first. Those were the times when every design choice felt deliberate, when developers had to make sure every byte counts on that limited NES cartridge space. Area 13, wall climbing challenges that benefit from nude suit usage. Area 14, final appearance of crushing claws and goo pits. Navigate the ceiling while eliminating ceiling guards. Boss rush, all previous bosses. In true Mega Man tradition, all 5 previous stage bosses must be defeated, again using the same strategies that you used before. Boss, Patriot Droid. This boss wears the Patriot suit that players will acquire in Stage 4. Equip the nude suit, slide under the ledges that it jumps on, and maintain consistent fire. When it's on ground level, its shots can be avoided with proper positioning. Players with at least half health can simply trade shots and emerge victorious. Boss battle, Rocket Droid. This boss uses the rocket suit abilities that players will gain in Stage 3. Either attack from the ceiling using the nude suit while avoiding the fish droids below, or use the wetsuit for a more challenging but viable approach. Boss battle, Newt Droid. This boss utilizes the nude suit from Stage 1, jumping off walls and ceiling while throwing shurikens. 2 rotating fireballs make this newt suit dangerous. Boss battle, twin droids. This unique boss doesn't mirror any power suit abilities. Stay near the room center and run or slide under the droids as they jump overhead. Consistent blade hits every few seconds prevent them from using their devastating jump kicks and slide kicks. Boss battle, Dragon Droid. Immediately equip the Patriot suit to absorb the dragon's projectile attacks. Fire continuously while the dragon flies overhead. Allowing it to remain grounded leads to rapid player's defeat.
So at last, you've come this far.
Final boss, the Alien. After the extensive boss rush, the ultimate challenge proves surprisingly manageable with the Patriot suit equipped. The alien's attacks are easily absorbed by the suit's protective orbs, making this final encounter almost anticlimactic after the journey required to reach it.
Let's torch this place and get away.
Power Blade 2 represents the pinnacle of NES-era Mega Man-inspired platforms, combining tight controls, creative power-up mechanics, and challenging but fair level design.
Mankind has been saved by this man again. However, his achievements will never be known to the general public. He is an SP and is not even supposed to exist in our society.
Alright, picture this. It's October of 1992. Bill Clinton is about to become US president. MTV is still making music videos for some reason, and you're standing in a video game aisle of your local store holding a cartridge that promises something different. It's Power Blade 2, or Captain Saver if you were lucky enough to experience it in Japan first. Represented everything we loved about the magical era when developers weren't afraid to take risks and push the NES hardware to its absolute limits. You see, back in the day, when a sequel came along, you never knew what wild innovations the developers might throw at you.
The Power Suit system adds strategic depth that keeps combat interesting throughout the campaign, while the varied elements and boss encounters provide constant variety. Whether experiencing Power Blade 2 for the first time or returning after years away, this complete walkthrough ensures no secrets are missed and every challenge can be overcome. The game's blend of familiar mechanics and unique innovations make it a standout title that deserves recognition alongside the era's more famous platformers.